Hello everyone. I thought you might like to see how we get light veins in a leaf in a very easy way. So if you're a beginner, this is a technique that is definitely worth trying. So I've got my paper. I'm just going to cover it with some paint so that you can see how this technique works. And then you can either use the end of a Perspex brush, a rounded end, or a palette knife with a rounded end. It has to have some flex in order to move the paint. So I'm not going to damage the paper, I'm going to move the paint. All I'm going to do is just push it gently. Push the paint, and that is going to give me a lovely light line. Or I can use my palette knife. And that's going to give me a light line. It needs practicing, this technique, because you want it to work every time. So, very simple. Let's pop that there. There's my piece of paper. Now the colours I'm going to use are Country Olive and Midnight Green. I'm going to mix the two, let them mix on the palette this time, in order that we get a deeper green, because this one's a little bit bright and this one's a little bit dark. So two on the palette. And I'm just going to start, I'm going to look at the stem, and I'm keeping the leaves fairly flat because it's more about this technique. So we're going to have the stem coming sort of down here. And all I'm going to do is press the brush again, just very simply, brush on the paper, press the brush and lift. And again here, press the brush and lift. Now once I've got my leaf shape, straight away, while it's wet, I put my vein in. You can see by the wobble, it is much simpler to do if you do it quite quickly. Obviously I want to show you quite slowly, but it is easier if you are quite confident with it. So here's the next leaf going in. It's a lovely technique. Press the brush and lift. Press the brush and lift. It must be wet. If it's dried, the technique is then called too late. You can also do kind of multiple veins if you're doing things like hosta leaves. You can use this technique for all sorts. If, for example, you've done a section and it wasn't quite what you wanted, you can cover it up with more paint and have another go. So it's quite forgiving. Okay, and we'll do maybe a little leaf down here. Okay, here we go. We're just going to press the brush onto the paper, the palette knife onto the paper. Just press it and move the paint. So we get this lovely light line, very similar to the leaf. Very simple, ever such a simple way of making light lines on the watercolour. Have a go. Practice first on a scrap, but have a go.